All right, so have been doing some experiments with putting tinfoil over a really large bolt here. So this is one of the largest bolts I have, and it works really well for these strings because they're quite far apart here on C. What is that? C3. There's a huge distance. This is just missing a string right now, but this has just a large gap, and this is one of the only ones that will fit into it. And so I was trying to put some washers like these external tooth washers onto it, but it wasn't going to fit. The external tooth washers are not, big enough for it to go around. So I tried wrapping it in tinfoil. We're going to see what happens. It needs to rattle a lot, but it also needs to be secure. So we're going to see what happens. Okay, here's the bolt with tinfoil, and it's on C3. Let's hear what it sounds like. Pretty good sound. It rattles pretty well. Really important thing is that it doesn't touch the other strings. So when this string is back in place and it doesn't touch this string, because if I play the notes next to it, I do not want this to sound. It's really important that it's only on the C natural, because the Chopin etude's in E major, and the C natural right here is a really important note when it goes to augmented sixth chord, a very important moment, and I want it to come out only on the dissonance. This is a preparation that is sort of adopted from the John Cage preparation for a bolt on D3, and it's the same bolt that's used for that one that I'm using for this one, and now I'm just putting some tinfoil on top of it. So some part of the issue is I'm trying to find a way to really totally avoid the sound of the tinfoil when playing other notes or with the pedal down, even trying to just find ways to mute it and then very quickly and easily pull it off like that, so I can take whatever is being played on the piano part with one hand and do that in 1 second or less, and then I'd have it fully prepared, ready to go. But it's really hard to get, especially this one. This one's pretty muted in terms of other notes, but this one I have to play the B, and if you hear that rattling, and it's too much time to have to put that tinfoil completely on, so it's nice to have it pre-prepared so that it can really because I want it to have, well, it's muted, but when that's unmuted I want it to have a matching sound. So this is a real challenge. I'm trying to figure out some kind of maybe sleeve, because it keeps rattling even when I press it down. I could press it more. I'm not sure, so if you have ideas, let me know. But anyway, this is a really tricky thing that I'm trying to figure out, that there's no easy solution for this. So this has been an interesting day because I'm not really for sure knowing what I'm going to do fully here. I'm kind of went the opposite direction in the end because it's really hard to get these to stop rattling. So what I'm going to do is try to find a way to make everything rattle all the time, but to work the amount of rattling into the dissonance of each chord. So if a chord is more dissonant, there would be more rattling. If it's less dissonant, less rattling. And so I'm trying to find a nice balance between some of the low notes that kind of just give a nice rattle, and then other notes that have some bolts and washers on select chromatic pitches that will bring out a rattle on tritones and things like that, and other notes that are not in the scale of E major. So this is kind of an experiment that kind of turned on its head to the opposite side of the original intention of avoiding as much as possible and trying to be minimal with the amount of rattling, to something more maximal where I use rattling always, all the time, everywhere, but on more of a gradations that are responding to the dissonance of each chord. So we'll see what happens with this. I'm not quite convinced of it, but it is what it is, and it will continue to grow and develop for the Chopin Etude Opus 10 number 3.